promised to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not it'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Emmy is already there. What a relief. According to my watch, we both are early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Emmy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy was on my side at least. Emmy hops off of the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I was actually stretching. I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say that I was all that active before the hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. 11:32. Well, I can stay up past 12. I just record so much. Legitly, I record in the morning, and then all day, I render videos out while I'm doing other stuff like YouTube or Xbox or I guess anime. I haven't been watching Fairy Tail for much, which is the current anime I'm on. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. I know, I get so sidetracked. I don't know. I find this a good way to update and stuff. No, Hisao. You've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying. It kind of hurts a little. Huh. That's because you're out of shape. You got to get some flexibility in you, like this. Oh, well. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. Oh, shit. God bless you, Emmy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. This makes no sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice when she thinks about how to explain things to me. Her mouth scrunches up in concentration. I can hear my roommate. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we'd better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? I've actually done this around a similar track, and yes, it is 4 laps. And I died. I'm more out of shape than Hisao, I bet you. That sounds fine to me. It shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. God, mine was horrible. Emmy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We were on the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to puncture her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, Oh no. Wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes this statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. But by the 3rd lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also in my own sweat. Gross. We round the corner to start our 4th lap, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the 2nd. As I struggle across the backstress, Emmy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Parts of me want to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emmy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to slightly translucent. It seems she's wearing a black sports bra. Oh, that's always lovely. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for your first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emmy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. Must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. This is gym class all over, Jesus. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, right? Okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. Just all of it. I love it all. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerfully as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emma's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms almost pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly so I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman, not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So, how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, something to do with adrenaline? Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling, though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. That would be I think that was the response. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Anyways. Sorry. I couldn't resist this. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, alluring her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour and I need to shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally, I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you, run with me at a later time. Don't be silly, I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I don't have a partner to run with, I'll be less likely to keep up my routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We'll both need the exercise, so it works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us? Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime, when else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt like the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See you. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I manage to warm the water a bit, spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel a bit of a wuss. Please don't, Kenji. I swear to God, I can't deal with 2 scenes in one playthrough. I mean, at least I'd have the excuse beyond I am out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself that I realize I've only got 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway into the cafeteria when I remember I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. And that's it for my water. I'll probably end this soon. Yeah, I got some time. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes okay, that's it. But maybe if I'm upside down, part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the cloud. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I want to get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha, that caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses a moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She narrowly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin, then takes a seat on the bench next to me. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginning of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep, profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Sal, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Sal, after I went through the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet. Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I'd agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all, that's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes at me. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force pushing me heroically toward my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Oh, well, you won't forget to come, though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know. Unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reverse the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I reverse the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. It's me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up and looks panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for my next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She's already seemed to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She has no arms. She can't help you, idiot. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of the cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take too long, so I've had plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Oh god, and that's where we're gonna end it. So, until probably tomorrow morning, guys. Quick note, I saved and went to the loading screen, and yeah, so I played for an hour and 4 minutes, so that's pretty